What's up, everybody? We're back for round two on the 3-color candy fade on a BMX bike. So if you didn't watch that video, go back real quick, watch that video, you'll see what we're getting into. It's been a fairly sleepless night last night trying to think about how I'm going to attack it today, and I think I come up with a plan. I'm going to do the blue part first. We're running low on blue. I should have enough, but I know it takes like 3 coats, but I should be all right. We're going to do this, shoot the blue first in the middle, then we're going to shoot the red on the back end of the bike, and then we're going to go back and shoot the gold on the front, which is the lightest color and most susceptible to seeing specks from the blowover. We'll try to be a little more diligent on the cleanup in between, and hopefully you will have good results. So as you can see, the bike's been stripped. It's been put back into base. This is all-in-one chrome, same as we used on the first go-around. Now we're waiting on our oven to heat up. Everything else is pretty much set up. And just for perspective, I'm going to show you what that brass translucent looks like with no base. We're lucky enough to have a research and development frame. It's actually owned by Danny from Medieval. He was nice enough to leave it so we could do some practice stuff on it, check out different products and see what he likes. But he wanted to know what it would look like with no base, because he wanted to see the heat signature of the welds and everything. Of course, the heat signatures aren't there anymore because the bike's already been blasted, but just to give you an idea what it looks like with no base. This is the brass translucent with no base. So as you can see right through it. It kind of gives it a neat effect. It almost looks kind of greenish. And this is the candy red, lollipop red. I just figured you guys might want to see what it looked like with no base. The base really gives it a lot of extra pop. It gives it that shiny, super glossy look. Alright, it's looking like we're about ready to go here. We've got our ground hooked up, everything's solid. Like I said, I'm going to start with the blue. Definitely going to split the line after the crossbars. We're probably going to hit these third spots, the tight spots first, so we don't get a bunch of powder buildup. And we'll go from there. So I don't know if you could hear that or not, but the ground is actually snapping. It's not a very good ground, so I'm going to adjust my ground. Maybe clean the spot up a little bit bigger. It's got some powder on it from the last adventure, and then we'll try again. Alright, I found the issue with the ground. My ground clamp here is super loose, and it was arcing inside the clamp. So we're going to get that pushed on there. We're going to re-crimp it. Woo, she's getting tight now. Give it another shot. got a little wild with it, but we'll blow a little bit of it off. Try to move that line back so they have a little bit more gold. All right, so she came out of the oven looking pretty good. Let's see if I can show you. There goes that. So she's just a hair light. She's a little too hot to spray the next coat, so we're gonna have to let it sit till it gets down to a comfortable temperature where the blue isn't gonna stick to places where it's not. Because right now, there's no specks of blue anywhere it's not supposed to be, which is a good. It's a good. All right, so we should be down to temperature now. Looks like we're right about low 80s, and some of the thick spots a little bit warmer, but it should be plenty to go for the next round. And I never turned the fan on, so there's going to leave powder everywhere. We're going to get it blowed back off. We're going to get it blowed back down to a spot that we like, somewhere back over here. And make sure it's good and clean before we jam it back in the oven. Alright, so another trick that we use when we're powder coating multiple coats over a base, sometimes there's a fan inside the oven that convects the heat, so you don't have any hot spots or whatever. But sometimes when you start layering powders, the powder's not stuck to the frame hard enough that when you put it in, the fan will actually blow it onto sections that you don't want powder. So what I do is I shut the oven off, put the bike in, let it sit for a few minutes because the oven will still have heat in it. It'll set the powder so that it can't blow around. Then I'll turn the oven back on and cure it. Alright, so it's going to sit in there for a few minutes, and then we'll turn the oven back on. We'll get the powder to flow out, pull it out. Hopefully we'll be able to shoot the red. Alright, so here we go. We're going to open her up, see how she looks. Looking pretty solid. Let me get it out of there before it gets too pure. Alright, as you can see, maybe, it looks good. We get her back over by the booth and start working on the red. All right, so we're sitting under 100 degrees, about 95 in the thick spots. We got our red hooked up to our fluidizer, our Lollipop translucent. And we're gonna toss some powder at the back of this bike, clean off the front of this bike. We're gonna do the same trick that we did on the last round. See what we get. Alright, y'all gonna have to move because I gotta get closer. Alright, looks like we're looking pretty good there. I'm gonna hit her with Big Larry's Big Uncle. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna blow off some of the overspray. And then we'll jam our bag in the oven again. All right. So the other fun part of this game, there's some threads right here, and we plug the threads. Should have put plugs on the other side too, but I'll clean those threads out before it goes in the oven. So now we got to get the plugs out before we put it in the oven, because if the powder sticks around the plug, it gives you kind of a jagged edge. It doesn't hurt nothing, just doesn't look 100%. So play a game of operation and try to get these plugs out without touching the powder. The best thing to do is flail your fingers around as much as possible before going in. Look at that, I only touch it a little bit, so I'll have to touch that up. And I lose because I touched that one a little bit as well. Now I gotta clean out the other threads because I forgot to put plugs on the other side. This is how we do it. Get this a little wet. Alright, I'm gonna go get the tweezers. Game over. Here we go. Red looks pretty awesome. Still has a little bit of purple where they transition, but blue and red makes purple, so there's not too much I could do about that without hardlining it. and we don't want to do that. So all that's left, blow on the gold, let her cool off, and give her the what for. All right, so it looks like we're ready to blow the gold. You fired up? Get to it. So we're on there pretty heavy. This gold usually takes about 2 or 3 coats, so we're going to give her a heavy on the first, see what it looks like, and maybe we can do it in 2. If not, give her 3. I got to clean out the cover area where the battery goes to. Shoot our that I forgot about too. Got it already based out. I'm just gonna blow some gold at it, brass, and we'll get that in the oven too. Lay it on there nice and thick. gotta be careful because you go too thick, powder will drip. Probably gonna fire up the vacuum. All right, we're ready for the first look. All right. We're gonna have to give her another one to darken her up, but we knew that was coming. Other than that, looks pretty solid. Time for another coat of that candy paint. Get her blown down. We're going to get her wiped up, cleaned up. We're going to hit that hub again. Back in here. That color's starting to get there. We're gonna jam it with one more coat. We should be good. The hub the same way. That way everything's basically the same color. Right now we're letting it cool. Give her another one. Alright, if everything goes right, this should be the last coat of brass translucent. We should be finishing this thing up. Let me fix the angle. Lower down. First we're gonna blow this. Now we gotta clean the hub, clean the bearings, blow off the rest of the bike so we don't get no overthread. Send her back. Alright, so I just took a peek in there. The brass color looks like it's finally in the right shade. I checked our temperature. We're right at 400 degrees. We set our timer for 8 minutes. And now we're going to see if we're done. Alright, it's time. Who's ready? Alright, let me get it pulled out of there before we overcook it and have something go wrong. You gotta pull that hub out first. Yeah. Let me get this thing into some light. Not too bad. There it is. You got your brass translucent, you got your ocean blue translucent, and lollipop red. You got his cranks done, We got his stem done in gloss black, his bars and forks. So this bike is on its way to Ecuador. A friend of ours, customer of ours, who's with Medieval Bikes, he has some riders in Ecuador, and we've done some other projects for Medieval, and I guess this particular guy wanted something to represent his version of the Ecuador flag. So we got the yellow, blue, and red. It'll be all set. Ripping it in Ecuador. Can't wait to see a video. But that's pretty much it for now. This one's wrapped up. Catch you on the next one.